Life's gonna pass with certainty. On this you can depend. Time is on your side, still you can decide what you leave behind. God is standing by. Tell me, do you like what you see? Have you been what you wanted to be? And what will be your legacy? Are you known for the good that you've done? What will be your legacy? You have one chance to write your story. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy. So often we are living in the moment, not thinking about this vapor of time. It's time to get your house in order with the love of God in mind. Time is on your side, still you can't decide what you leave behind. God is standing by. Now tell me, do you like what you see? Have you been what you wanted to be? Will be your legacy. Are you known for the good that you've done? Will be your legacy. Your legacy. You have a one chance to write your story. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy. Will you have a fortune of fame to show? Is it your name that you want them to know? Do you want to know that you love the Lord? Will they say it was God that you love? What a real legacy. Are you known for the good that you've done? What a real legacy. You have one chance to write your story, and I wanna know what a real legacy. Better be careful what you do. Better be careful what you say. Better be careful what you do. Better be careful what you give. You have a one chance, one time, one life. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy. We are all on a journey of destiny that for sure will come to an end. Life's gonna pass with certainty. On this you can depend. Time is on your side, still you can decide what you leave behind. God is standing by. Tell me, do you like what you see? Have you been what you wanted to be? And what will be your legacy? Are you known for the good that you've done? What will be your legacy? You have to write your story. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy. So often we are living in the moment, not thinking about this vapor of time. It's time to get your house in order with the love of God in mind. Time is on your side, still you can't decide what you leave behind. God is standing by. Now tell me, do you like what you see? Have you been what you wanted to be? Will be your legacy? Are you known for the good that you've done? Will be your legacy? Be your legacy. You have a one chance to write your story. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy. Will you have fortune or fame to show? Is it your name that you want them to know? Do you want to know that you are the Lord? Will they say it was God that you love? Will it be a legacy? Are you known for the good that you've done? Will it be a legacy? You have one chance to write your story, and I wanna know, will it be a legacy? Better be careful what you do. Better be careful what you say. Better be mindful what you give. Better be careful what you give. You have a one chance, one time, one life. So what's it gonna be? Your legacy.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another Winning Wednesday here at Birmingham Bible Church. You have just heard the sounds of Wayburn Dean. What will be your legacy? And that's one thing that we need to be aware of is what are we leaving the next generation? Not just money, but what knowledge are we leaving them? And so what are you going to be known for? What are you going to be known for when you leave this earth? And so what a wonderful song. Please go out there and look up Wayburn Dean. He has a lot of great and amazing music. But this is where we are every Wednesday here at 12 noon, and we call it Winning Wednesday because we want all of us to create some wins in our lives. And this is where we bring on guests who help us win in every area of our life, help us win in our business, our relationships, finances, mentally, physically, whatever it is, but every area we try to cover it here on Winning Wednesday. And so please do us a favor. We want you to share this broadcast with someone that you know needs to be a winner, whoever that is. Make sure you tag them, make sure you text them, send this to your teens, to your preteens. If you are a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, this is for everyone because our guest on today is going to talk about teen dating violence awareness. And she's been on here before before, and she did such an amazing job last time. I was like, Sonny, we have to have you back for something else. And so since this is one of the monthly observations for February, we was like, this will be perfect for you to come on and talk about this. Because this particular topic is just becoming all too common. And a lot of times I know myself, I don't think about it until something happens in the news. But we need to be informed. We need to be aware. We need to teach our teens what healthy relationships look like, because a lot of us as adults, some adults are not in the best relationships themselves. And so they're kind of watching this. And so we want to set a new precedent. We want to teach our teenagers, hey, what this is healthy and this is unhealthy. And so I'm so pleased to have Sunny with us on today. And she's funny, y'all. She's gonna lighten it up. I need to have a conversation with her before today, because she just has me in stitches before we get on here. But she's a great person to talk to. She has over 35 years of experience in this area, as an instructor, as a consultant, as a commentator. I was looking at her bio. She is just extensive in everything. She's highly sought after. She is an expert. She's had so many awards, y'all, and just recognitions. And I know she's not all about that. She's just a real down-to-earth person. And just recently, she put out there on Facebook that she is now, I'm gonna let her say, I think, associate producer for a TV show. And so I'm gonna let her talk about that too. That's coming later on this year. But God is just blessing her and moving her just in her purpose. And so I welcome you guys, Sunny Slaughter. Hey, Sunny.
Hey, First Lady.
How are you?
I'm good. The lights, camera, action thing, as we were talking. I have to keep it real with you.
I know you do.
Okay, can y'all see me? Hey,
yeah, we see you. At first you were a little fuzzy, but the fuzziness cleared up. I don't know if that was some on my end, but it's good now. We see you. We see you clear.
You know that was on this end, because everything's been going crazy back here on this side of everything. But thanks for having me back today. And particularly for this very important topic. I appreciate you reaching out. You made sure you got your date in last year. Folks don't know. Folks don't know. Lady Pam be on it. Can we get you from last year? You like, okay, can you get this calendar on your date? And thank goodness that we did get it in on time. Things are got busy. But I appreciate being here with you.
Yeah. So tell our viewers just, a little bit about what you do and just, the area of expertise. And you can even talk about the newest thing that's coming up this year for you as well, before we jump right in.
Okay. So, well, the year started off very differently. I have been doing news for decades in some form or fashion. I did a lot when I lived in Birmingham. I was on the television talking about domestic violence and sexual violence and, just all kinds of things. Oh, but this year just started out really rocking and rolling. The second day, an email from a national producer reached me and asked if I could be on the Law and Crime Network. So I am currently doing a lot of national news. I was just on yesterday for 2 hours talking about some of the most high-profile cases in America. Yesterday, I was talking about the murder of Maggie and Paul, a son and mother in South Carolina. That is the that's my thing is going out. The Alex Murdaugh trial. I'm not sure what is going on here. Did you see that?
Yeah, I do see it, but
that is the enemy.
It is, and now it went off.
But okay. Well, anyway, as long as folks can hear me, it don't matter what I'm looking like. So let me be clear about that. As long as you can hear me. So the Law and Crime Network is something that I've been doing, and I'll be on again tomorrow, along with Crime Board TV, another national program where I have been taping some segments, and I'll be taking one on Valentine's Day that people should look out for. All of those can be found on any of your cable channels. I've been doing a lot of podcasts. So much of what I am discussing and talking about nationally is some high profile cases, and also doing a lot of Scripps News, where I talked about the mass shooting out in California and different things like that. So that's really good. And from there, I was offered an opportunity to be an associate producer for an upcoming show that will be airing on A&E. It's a law enforcement show. And sometime in March. Let's wait to see what's going on. The show is already in production, and my job is to find undercover officers who can do some of the new shows in the future. So that's my part in that. And then there's some other opportunities, but there's a lot happening in America and across the world. So this topic right now is really important. And last week, I also had the opportunity to do global television, and they said they want me back for that to talk about human trafficking and the data and what's showing and what's not showing across the globe. So I'm doing things differently, but still staying on the same topics that I've done in the past. It's just different platforms and larger platforms, more access, more visibility. But unfortunately, the issues haven't changed. The topics are still relevant. And this topic today is extremely relevant, not just because it's the month of February, which is Teen Dating Violence Prevention Awareness Month, but I'm going to let you roll in, but there is something that I do want to talk about that is in the national news. And I don't know if you want me to say that first.
No, I mean, you can, because that was my, first question is, why is it so much of a concern? I know there's been a lot of just mass shootings, period, since the year started. And I know, I think it was Idaho, the college students. So there's a few here and there that talks about young people. So, I guess from my standpoint, has there been an increase of awareness, and why? But you can jump in and talk about however you want to start the conversation.
Okay, thank you. So the Idaho murder trial is actually the first case that the Law and Crime Network reached out for me to do and be a part of. It is 4 young people who were out at college, and they were the victims of murder. And there was an arrest in the case. And although we always think people are paying attention to what's happening in the national news, people are really focused on what's going on in their communities. But this particular case is important because there is a college or university in everyone's community. And while those young people, 4 young innocent individuals who were murdered in their off-campus home may seem like it's not relevant to you all, it really is, because there is a college campus, university in every city, in every community. There are young people who live on campus and off campus, and it all matters. That's why it's important. And that's why everyone should be paying attention at all times, regardless of culture, race, whether it's close to you or whether it's not, because people need to be prepared. Prevention is really about preparedness and what you know and what you don't know and how you think you are, and the things that we should be telling our young people, our children, our family members, those that we know, those that we educate, those that we interact with every day. People need to be more aware. And I think that is one of my biggest messages. So for me to be the messenger of awareness and situational awareness in particular, there's another case, and let me say this, preface this really quick. I'm a mom. I have 4 children. They are all adults. They all do their own thing. But I'm still a mother. I'm an aunt. I am a sister. And unfortunately, there have been years and times where people they kind of wanted to know what I knew, but then it's so graphic. It's so, nothing that I have ever done is cute. It is all nasty. It is all horrific. It is all gory. I'm sure people don't want to see my information when I'm posting sometimes. So then, oh, she's so negative. That is the reality. That is someone's reality that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And while it may be triggering, traumatic, I don't want you to call me after, because that always happens too. See, people are not paying attention to what I'm putting out until it really becomes relevant to them, because those 4 parents never thought it would be them. That city never thought it would be that city. They did not have crime like this in that city. They had a lot of drug cases, but this kind of murder, this kind of crime didn't happen there. So before people call me after the fact, I need you to be paying attention. This is not to like me, but this is to hear, see, and recognize the information that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that part. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going, because a lot of times, Sonny, we're reactive. We want to react to after something has happened, and we're having this so that you can help us, like you said, be prepared and be proactive.
And your show allows that in so many different ways. I have a friend in Birmingham, well, and more than one, who the cases are very personal for me, because these mothers and fathers were very close to me. And their daughters, and this happens to sons and daughters, but this 2 cases in particular, their daughters are no longer here. They were both victims. They were both young people. One had a son, and those young ladies are not here. Teen dating violence is not a gender specific type of crime, although we talk about it in a gender specific way. We focus a lot on girls being the victims. But if I don't tell you anything else, let me tell you that girls are dangerous.
Wow.
They can be just as dangerous to boys as they can be to one another. So do not identify a perpetrator or a victim based on their gender identity. So I want folks to be real clear. One of the Idaho 4 is what they're called. His name was Ethan. And I always say his name because most people forget that those were 3 beautiful young ladies, but Ethan was a victim too. And lastly, before we get into your questions, I do want to talk about another case really quick that's in the national profile, because it also matters. And the individual who committed the crime was 14 years old at the time. He was in the 8th grade. His name is Aiden Fashi. He is now 16 years old, and just this week, he pled guilty to first-degree murder of Tristan, who was killed. She was 13 years old, his classmate, and he stabbed her 114 times on Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021. So this is not a cute conversation, but this is a necessary conversation. I'm never going to tell you anything that's cute. Unfortunately, that is not who I am. That is not the work that I do. But I am going to give you some reality, and it is going to be painful. He was, I said, 14. He was in the 8th grade. I told you he stabbed her 114 times.
Mm.
So he decided, instead of going to trial, to plead guilty. This case happened in Florida, but there are cases like this everywhere. They were not dating. They just went to school together.
Wow.
So what is happening to young people? There is an increase in cases across the United States. There is an increase in young people who have behavior and mental health, diagnosed and undiagnosed disorders and conditions. They are acting out younger and younger. They are responsive and responsible for their behavior. And the isolation is one of the things that some people have identified. But there are children who were isolated even before all of this, where their behaviors were disturbing, to say the least. So when you think about relationships between teens who gravitate to one another for the companionship that, you know, people seek out as they grow and everything, then we have to consider the conditions in which people are engaging one another, regardless of age, and how those dynamics play out when it comes to I like you, as opposed to I must have you. I like you, but you can't like anyone else. I like you, you belong to me, so you must follow the pattern that I set. No talking, no hanging out with anyone else, no communicating with anyone else, keeping secrets, those type of things where they seem cute and interested, but interest becomes very controlling. And very subtle often. There are things that our children are engaged in that we don't know. Last night I was watching it's on Apple TV, Truth Be Told, with I can't think of her name, from Birmingham too. It's the show called Truth Be Told. And it is, I cannot think of the actress's name, but two of them, they are both Black actresses. And Gabrielle Union is the co-star in this episode. But what is her name? She won the Emmy.
Viola Davis, or
No, not that one. Oh, she's really good too. Now y'all have to excuse me because I got to find it now that I have said it. Octavia. See, I knew it was Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
So she is the main character. This is her show. This is her series. But in this particular series, they were talking about teens and youth and dating. And one of the teens was dating someone, and it's a series that's going on right now. And the father is a police officer, and I'm not going to tell you all the details, but he found out something about his daughter. See, the mom thought she had everything covered because they were having a conversation. Mm-hmm. And you say, well, what does this have to do with teen dating violence? Just pay attention. I'm talking. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the mom was having a conversation, and she said, yeah, we're talking about, and she saw her with the little boyfriend, and the boyfriend, the father being, you know, who he was like, I don't know, I got to check him out for myself, had dinner. They liked him until there was a videotape. When daddy found a videotape doing a separate investigation. So the reality was, while mom thought she had it covered because they were having a conversation,
Mhm.
there was still a secret.
Mhm.
This is how teens and this is how adults mimic behaviors that are unhealthy. So teens mimic the behaviors of adults when they keep secrets. And then when they have relationships and where they're engaging, so the daughter didn't tell the mom, oh yeah, we're having sex. Mm-mm. But it wasn't just that part. It was that it was videotaped by someone that was a predator. So there's some controlling behaviors that you can see in individuals that are very subtle when you start having conversations with your young people. But it's hard to have a conversation with your young person about a bad relationship if your young person is watching you and you're not in a healthy one. So be careful.
Sonny, you talked about, because I have an 8th grader and never knew about that story. And you talked about a few of the signs of controlling. I think everybody at their school, whether you're, I'm older, and I can remember back in the day, there was some kind of weird kids at school, and you just kind of, you didn't say anything to them, and you just kind of let them, be by themselves. But I guess what are some signs to look for? Like even if I'm a student at a school and maybe there's nobody who fits the classic mold. I think a lot of schools are trying to do their best to make sure that, violence doesn't happen. So I remember at the beginning of the school year, our children have cell phones and they could no longer, like all backpacks had to be kept in their lockers.
Mhm.
Like nobody, so I kind of got the idea, it's okay, they're probably trying to make sure nobody has something in there and
Mhm.
can start a shooting spree or whatever. But what are some signs? I know you're talking about people have behavioral issues and you do, and you don't know about it. They offer these classes, it's on the email, the newsletters, they offer these classes. Are people taking advantage of it? I don't know, but what are some other signs? I mean, if there are more signs than what you just talked about.
Well, some of the things that we can ask our children at school, is there anyone being bullied?
Mhm.
So while we're looking at the perpetrators, one of the things is there anyone in your classroom, anyone that you know at church, at school, in the community that is being bullied by others? When young people get bullied by others, they close themselves off, right?
Mhm.
And while we tend to say, oh, they shouldn't be doing that, sometimes it's serious in a way for that individual that they lash out. A lot of people who have committed crimes have said that they have been victims of bullying,
Mm.
right? But don't latch just on the fact that, oh, the person being bullied might be the perpetrator. Let's stop behaviors that they're just not nice. So the person in the school who doesn't dress like everyone else, they don't have the right shoes, or the best clothes. Those are the individuals that tend to get picked on. And after, it's just like if you keep piling something as an adult, when you're somewhere and you keep getting things piled on and piled on and piled on and piled on, it's heavy. And at some point you may react. But it is not to say that every person that is being bullied will act like that. Sometimes it's the jocks at the schools. There is no set thing that we should look for, because anyone can be a perpetrator and anyone can be a victim. And I think that's where we need to, how kind are we to others?
Amen.
How do we allow ourselves to be gentler and gentle with one another? Even parents, are we offering them a way if there's someone, like I was a single mom. Thank God I had a lot of help though. I had to do it all, but there were times when I needed help. I had Birmingham PD, I had fire, I had friends, you know, and they didn't all look alike. Everybody didn't know everything, but they were like, oh, well, I could take the kids somewhere. I could do that. So when we see individuals, sometimes other people can talk to our children better than we can.
That's true.
They can see something that we can't. So when a child is, or a person is, they're self-isolating, or they're doing things to animals, now that is a red flag. When you hear or hear about a young child or something doing any kind of harm to animals, that is a problem. That is of concern. We should not ignore those things. We should say something. We should do something. If there is a child that is constantly acting up in school, there was a 6th grader in Virginia that took a gun to school because the teacher was picking on him, so he says, and he shot her.
Yeah.
You say, well, what does that have to do with teen dating violence? He wasn't dating. No, he might not have been dating. But what about if he grew up and started dating?
That's right.
We ignore what happens when they're 6 because we think it's cute.
Right.
And the 6-year-old grows up to be 16.
Right.
So it is behaviors that are questionable. How they respond, if they have no response, people that have a flat affect. Now, I have Bell's palsy. So sometimes it's good that you can't see how I really be thinking when somebody says something crazy. But a person that doesn't have an affect when things are really bad, or they don't have the what we would call an appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers see our children more than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that if they see something, they say something. We say this all the time. If you see something, say something. And then you say something and everybody ignores you. What is that? It may be nothing, or it may be something. If your daughter comes home, and relationships are very unique in and of themselves. People may not be dating. So when we say the word teen dating violence, sometimes it is off-putting in the fact that you don't have to be in a dating boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing, or as the kids call it, I think they still say this, I don't know, I'm like 50, almost 55, hooked up kind of thing, for the violence and for the subtleties of violence to be there. You can be 2 friends, 2 guys, 2 girls, and have controlling behavior. I don't want you to be friends with someone that they're not dating. That is a relationship that is very unhealthy. A lot of teen killers were not in a dating relationship, where they the Columbine murders is something. They were not in a dating relationship, but they were in a relationship. They were very close to 2 boys. Very unhealthy. That is still something to be concerned about. So people don't have, and today I don't even know if the kids date. I don't know if they call it dating. You know, they just like each other, or they do this whole group thing where everybody goes, together. Okay, so it's a whole group. If it's a group thing, because I don't think they do is like the whole dating. Well, I'll be 55 in July, so we got a little boyfriend and like little girlfriend. Yeah, that's my boo. I wrote John's name on all my baby dolls when I was in school. My mother said write on something else, and John, But so I think we have to really redefine some language and things
Yeah.
when we think about relationships that are unhealthy, and whether people are dating, our young people are dating or not, doesn't matter as much as how they're interacting with one another in groups. Girls, you know, that whole mean girl thing, they're not dating, but they are sure connected. That's a
Mhm.
problem. You know, girls can be vicious. I've
Mhm.
always said that out loud. I don't care if some of y'all moms don't like it. The girls on the cheerleading teams, they can be
They're vicious.
ruthless.
Yep. Yep.
So we have to just think about relationships and teens and how they relate and what that prevention looks like. Are we talking to them? Are they communicating well, not just with one another, but you know, with each other? And how do we do more of that in terms of navigating friendships
Mhm.
that may have nothing to do with dating?
I think, say, a classic example, as you was talking, I was thinking about, and they had a Netflix special on him, Jeffrey Dahmer. Classic
Mhm.
example of everything you just said was, you know, the animals started, you know, doing stuff to animals,
Yeah.
the flat effect. And he wasn't in that first killing wasn't a relationship, you know, and very, very textbook as far as what you just said is that guy.
And those were relationships for him
Yeah.
before they were intimate.
Yeah.
You know, he just, you know, he was like so nice, and the people you think are so great. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, who is that?
Right.
They're the same person. They
Yeah.
are the same person. I think when we think about young people, we need to, my children are young adults, and they're funny with because they know I used to ask, so who is that? So now, you know, of course, they're like in their 20s. God forbid you should ask any questions. You know, you don't ask nothing, but you know, you can pick up on little things.
Right.
And if something don't feel right,
That's right. Say something.
the first time someone puts their hands on you
Mm-hmm.
is the last time that they should put their hands on you. Because sometimes the first time is the only time. You don't need to forgive anyone for hurting you if they don't hurt you the first time. People don't make mistakes of violence. Violence is very intentional. So don't confuse love with physical, verbal, mental, psychological, financial, emotional abuse from anyone. That shouldn't happen. People are dealing with their own set of traumas and fears, and sometimes you just got to give people their space, because it's not that they're not good people, they're just not the right person for you. And as we grow and evolve, you know, we know as an adult, um, evolution is, you know, it's a whole big thing, and there's a lot that happens over a course of time. I still like John, but my mom was serious about me not writing his name on everything. I thought he was going to be my husband. I think I was in the second grade. But you know, so we think, oh, that's love. That's
Right.
love. And
Mm.
and that's friendship. But even friendship should not hurt. Not intentionally. It shouldn't be a constant thing. So when we think about our children, when we think about how they interact with one another, we need to be very conscious and cognizant, but also how we tell them not to engage is really important. So here's something that you should know. 1 in 12 U.S. high school students experience both physical and sexual violence. As a former school board member for the city of Trenton, one of the things that I learned quickly once I got on the school board was that we used to have something called the Violence and Vandalism Reports, VVR. And in those reports were incidents regarding the students in the school district. The incidents of sexual violence involving young people in elementary school would shock you. So do not be confused by age and circumstance. And when teens are involved, there's so much more from the nuances when it comes to domestic and sexual violence. This is the month where wearing orange, the color orange, aims to raise awareness. And there are millions of young people that dating violence happens to. And according to the Health and Human Services, 29% of adolescents reported being abused verbally or psychologically as teens. They're someone who they're talking to, the person that they're dating, so to speak, wants to see who they're texting, who they're communicating with. They communicate in chats and apps, different ones. There's so many now, I can't even tell you. And social media has a lot to do with bullying and behavior. And breakups are hard no matter what age you are. But for young people, they can be devastating because, you know, the way that they trend on social media talking about the person who has been dumped, so they say. You know, the things and body imaging, all of those things. You're fat, you don't look cute, you're ugly, you need to change this. When you see your young person, and please do not forget, this is guys and girls changing their behaviors and their looks to fit in, you should ask questions. And if you think that they are too young at any time to have a conversation about what we always say our kids are too young to have a conversation about, don't ever send them to school. Because everything that you think that they don't know, they know if they go to school. They have learned it because you cannot protect your child from everything if they go to school. They're going to hear something, see something, know something, not even tell you because they go to school with people you can't control. So while you're being a good parent, your child is getting the education that you swear that you're protecting them from every day when they go to school. There's some kid in school teaching them something that you, oh, they're too young to know that. Okay. Okay. Oh, they done learned it. They ain't told you that they know it. Oh, but they done learned that lesson. Oh, yeah, they done heard it. Which is why when they're with you and they're not, that's because they didn't already heard that. Yeah, they already know that. They might not even understand it, but yeah, they done heard that. More young people look at pornography at school, during school.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you talk about teen dating, we just, I thought, see, you probably thought we were just gonna talk about the, you know, like the hitting, oh, they're looking at pornography and everything, and at school. Yeah, they're looking at all kinds of stuff at school. And your child does not have to have a cell phone because somebody else does.
Mm-hmm.
They have access to cell phones. They have access to social media. They have accounts that you don't know about. I'm not trying to alarm you. I'm telling you some facts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't prepare yourself, oh, somebody else will prepare them for these relationships. And the one that you think is bad, they probably have their ways.
Mm-hmm.
But then the one that you think is so good, that's the one that you need to be watching.
That's right.
The culprit is the one that was, see, the one that was doing all the acting out. Oh, you already know what they're gonna do.
Right.
But that little quiet one, that's the ones that you need to be watching. And if you don't think that the young kids is teaching the older kids something, you better pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this in a way because I'm not laughing or joking because this really is serious, but I really want you all to hear me. Yeah. Trust, if I could do something else, like I could talk about, I was telling, Lady Can, I don't even like putting on makeup and lipstick and all of this stuff. No, this is not, I don't like this because I don't feel like I need to look like this for me to tell you that your kids are in trouble.
Right.
But Lady Cam said it's presentation. So now that I'm put on my face and everything, y'all better be listening to what I'm saying. Don't call me after the fact because I'm telling you right here on this show.
Right.
Children are our greatest asset, and they are under threat. Mm-hmm. Do not ignore the things that we keep ignoring. And when you are a child of color, Black and brown children, we always think, well, we got a lot of trauma already on top of stuff, but we also don't pay attention to the things like the Idaho murders, Aiden Fosh, everyone that I just told you about, they were all white children. And you say, oh, well, they got different stuff. They have the same stuff that we got. Mm-hmm. Everybody having the same kind of crisis. Mm-hmm. There's a crisis of culture. There's a crisis of communication. There's a crisis with our kids. Let me say that again. There's a crisis of culture. There's a crisis of communication. There's a crisis with our kids. The crisis of culture is that we as adults keep thinking that we know it all, and we don't. Mm-hmm. We need to listen to young people a lot more than we do. My children could teach this better than me because they can talk to one another. So instead of us always being the messengers, we need to get the message. That is the communication piece. And as a parent and transparent, there are so many things that I got wrong as the expert. So if you don't know as much as I do, then and now, and I'm telling you that I got it wrong, there's a problem. I listen to my young people now, and I listened to them then, but see, I was so busy parenting, trying to protect, that I missed some stuff that I should have caught. I have a son now. He in crisis. I cannot help him. That's my son. I'm not talking about nobody else's child. Mine. I gave birth to him. But before he caused any damage anymore, I got to parent. I got to do the hard stuff. And sometimes the hard stuff is saying no. And sometimes the hard stuff is not being tolerant of behaviors that you cannot correct. If you see your child doing something, if you know a child is doing something and you don't do anything about it, you are part of the problem.
Yes.
As much as we love our children, There's a reality to the violence that is happening in our communities amongst young people that we cannot tolerate, no matter who they are to us. And that is so we can protect more of us. This is me talking to you as a mom.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
You cannot cover things up.
Yeah.
Aiden's Hashi's mother washed his clothes filled with blood. She is now also being charged
Mm.
as an accomplice.
Mm.
If your child, regardless of their gender, is exhibiting behaviors that are violent, subtle, and overt, you are responsible to do something, because if you do nothing, you are responsible.
Mhm.
The violence that is happening in our communities all across the country is all of our responsibility. It's all of our problems. Violence in Birmingham is a problem for violence in Atlanta because it is not stationary. So we cannot ignore it anywhere we are. The National Domestic Violence Hotline number is 1-800-799-7233. And young people can text LOVE IS, LOVIS, to the number 22522. Young people can text LOVE IS to the number 22522. Adults can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That same number, 1-800-799-7233. In every state, there are resources. The domestic violence awareness for every state. You can just Google that. We use Google for everything. Let's use it to get that wherever you are, because I know you have an audience that is really broad. You can look up the Sexual Assault Awareness Hotline. In Alabama, it is called ACAR, the Alabama Coalition Against Rape. There are local resources like your YWCAs all across the country. They have resources and support. Unless there's an incident in progress, do not call 911. Okay, let me say that again. Unless there is an incident of violence in progress, do not call 911. If you want to report something, you can call the non-emergency hotline number to report criminal behavior that is not in progress. In progress, happening at the very moment. If you know someone, I did a lot of going to hospitals in Birmingham. Some of the hospitals knew me, and the nurses, they would call directly, can you come to the ER? And I would go to the ER. Sometimes I'd be with my kids out having dinner, and we have stopped. And I said, we gotta go. and taking they knew my kids in the ERs. They would have a room set up for them. One of the things that I never told anyone, and this is for teens too, teens and adults, I did not ever tell people to leave. And you say, well, why wouldn't you tell them to leave? Because people have circumstances that they don't always flush out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's right.
leaving a situation of violence, regardless of age, often requires planning. Now, as an adult and with children, you would say, my child better leave. True that. They still got to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So leaving without a plan never makes sense.
That's right.
So you need to leave with a plan. You need to know what to do. You need to set up some things, have code words
Mm-hmm.
for people. So code words, and don't use crazy things that people can't remember, and don't use common things. So like, don't use hamburgers if you know y'all eat a lot of hamburgers, because that's not a good code word if you're using it for trouble. And then, y'all eating hamburgers all the time. In homes, in rooms, I used to tell people if they needed to stay where they were, that somebody in the neighborhood turn their curtains, their rods, their things, keep the light on. And if the light is not ever on, that should be a signal.
Right.
Something is not right. So if a child is still going to school, they need to have somebody that they can talk to, a safe person, a safe, and the thing about teenagers and young people, see, they talk to young people first, often those that can't do anything. So your young child, your person, your teenager needs to know this information, even though they might not be the victim or perpetrator, but they might know somebody. Because see, they know somebody that they haven't told you.
Right, right.
So things that you can say, and you don't have to make it a long, drawn out, sit down conversation. My kids and I used to talk when we were cooking and say, oh, I heard Sunny Slaughter today, and she was saying such a cooking, and you're mixing, and just kind of dropping little nuggets. You don't have to have a full out, sit down, throw down conversation to continuously drop nuggets of information.
That's good. Follow
my website, my page. I'm trying to drop nuggets. Follow, the church's page, and just things. Drop nuggets are sometimes better than a full meal with young people.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, okay, we don't need to hear this. But also listen. Listen to not only the things they say, but sometimes what they don't say. It's what you don't hear. Bruises are always a problem. Never ignore a bruise. Bruises will happen on the arms, on the face, the neck. Kids, they always got to be changing and with the doors closed, and the older they get, you can't see stuff, but I'm just saying, just be mindful. I done rattled on.
No, this was good, Sunny. I'm thinking as you're talking, I'm processing, and thinking about, our two younger kids, and you said a lot of great things. And I think one thing I've practiced, and our two boys, sometimes boys, sometimes they don't like to talk. Well, as soon as these two get in the car from school, I think that's their best time to talk. That's when they're giving me the rundown of the day, what happened, who said what. Mama, these people, they're dating and they don't need to be dating. And I said, you're right. And like you said, making that a teachable moment, and we're having a conversation about dating, and they're too young for that. You need to wait till you're older. But it's like you said, you have to find when they are their element, so you can get in their element, and you can really, the guards are down. And I try not to be like really reactive. So
I know.
tell me something, I'm like, what? Who said what? So I'm trying to make sure they're inviting, to share whatever with me. And we talk about stuff, and then I go home and talk about it with my husband and what have you. But I think
That's when you can fall apart.
that's when I'm going up there now. But you're so right, because it's so, and even just observing, because you may have that teenager that don't like to talk, you're the enemy or whatever and all that stuff. But if you're observing, like you said, change in behavior, a change in their clothes, they used to wear neon, now they're wearing all black every day, just whatever. I mean, this was all good. We're going to share this. I know with the parents at our church, we have a group chat text. So we're definitely going, because a lot of people at school, we're going to reshare the broadcast. You didn't rattle on at all. This was, I mean, you answered all the questions that I was thinking about. I know you are super busy. Do you ever talk to, because, and I don't know if you have a counseling degree, we refer counselors to people, but you just seem like a good person. You can really talk to who could talk to a teenager.
Every so often I will have a conversation with a young person. They'll catch me, or somebody will say, I don't do it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
The schedule is crazy, but
Right.
I always tell people, like, y'all know I'm not a counselor, right? I done sideways with my own children sometimes. But like I said, sometimes it is, you do better with other people than you do with your own kid. And in Birmingham, y'all got some pretty good folks there now.
Okay, all right.
Y'all got some pretty good folks there that if somebody reaches out to me, that I would refer them to. Dr. Nadia Richardson. I don't know if you know Dr. Nadia Richardson.
I don't know.
She has an organization called Nadia. I'm going to put your business all the way out here, but
good. That's fine, because I contact her after.
Look,
I say Sonny sent me.
So it's No More Martyrs of Birmingham. Okay. Now, hang on, I'm looking up. So the website is www.NOMORETYRS.org. Okay. And her name is Dr. Nadia Richardson. And she is the founder and executive director of No More Martyrs. But she just did she created an institute too. I will connect you, Lady Pam, with Nadia. She specializes in culturally specific services for persons of color. But I mean, she can do all other things besides that as well. Nadia and I have served on a lot of things together in the past. So I think she would have great resources for young people, and she is there. And I actually come to Birmingham quite a bit. I'm just quiet when I come.
I remember.
Yeah, so folks don't usually know. I used to say everything out loud, and now I'm just quiet when I come. But I'll let you know the next time I'm coming, and maybe we can pop in and do something. But there is something that I am working on for Birmingham, and but let's get it all in place. And it won't be me, but it'll be a byproduct of me there. Talking about the issues and doing the work, and it'll be somebody that I think is best suited for young people, because I gave birth to her.
Oh,
So my daughter is actually going to be there, and she is very good with young people, very smart, very we're going to work on some things there in
Good.
Birmingham for her to
Good.
do. And she's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's taught me a lot about young people. My children have actually taught me. Well, sometimes young people teach you more about them. You're like, are you kidding me? Yeah, but since they're parenting me now,
Yeah.
it's an experience. So what I will say is I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
And but if there is a young person that you know of that is really in crisis before you can connect them with somebody else, then you know how to get me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm not gonna leave a young person in crisis. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, I have had my share of young people that I talk to. And there was even a pastor and a first lady years ago who were in crisis with their teenage daughter
Mm,
in a very unique situation
mm,
in the Jefferson County area, but not in the city of Birmingham. Very unexpected. I spent weeks with the family
mm.
because when the pastor, he said he did not look like us. And when he reached out, I said, wait a minute. Now, you know, I do not have no counseling. I said, no, I'm not no therapist. He said, mm-mm.
Right.
He said, he got a real word. I said, are you sure you was paying attention? I said, Pastor, no, I'm serious. Mhm. Yes, I
Yeah.
was with them for weeks. They had a lot to unpack,
Wow.
but we did it.
Good.
I thought I was prepared. We kind of talked about, so prevention is about being prepared. I did not know I would be called for that, but the Lord made sure that I was prepared because he knew
Yeah.
he had a plan. So I pray that our parents become more prepared
Yeah.
for the journey that we are on in these times with our young people. And with that, I'll just say thank you so much for the opportunity once again to be with your flock, your fellowship, and thank you for thinking of me and for all of the great work that you do. Your Winning Wednesdays and the people that you bring, they are lucky and blessed to have you for leading these very transitional conversations for such a time as this.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Sunny, for just your openness, helping us to be more prepared as parents, as a community. Thank you for walking in your purpose. I believe, the things you've gone through with in your life, has helped to where it's helped today. It's helped today, and it's helping other people. It helped the pastor and the first lady. This was awesome. Next time you're in Birmingham, yes, I want you to, we need to get together. You let me know. We may have you come by the church. I feel like I'm working. It's not a vacation. I'm working.
No, what you know, you've always been this connection that you and I have is special, and I really do appreciate it. It is not taxing on my spirit. It is he always know what I need when I need it. So he be having me covered.
Thank you. And
even
my
though I
husband,
could be disobedient.
and not put that lipstick on.
I know, right? And yeah, and I know Pastor Bates be like this. You gonna have who, Sonny Lord? But y'all are blessing to me. Y'all are blessing.
Thank you, and you have blessed our audience as well. My husband is watching. He said he gonna bring you to the church. He said he gonna bring. I just got the text message. I said okay. I'll tell him.
Oh, Pastor, do I have to put on my face when I come to? I got first lady said I got to be presented. Oh yeah, but my Father in heaven knows. Right here, so Uncle Whopper. But
No.
no, you all are a blessing. So seriously, the next time that
Yeah.
I am, I'll let you know when I'm
Yeah.
coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be, I'll be in Birmingham. I'm coming
Yeah.
close, but I won't be there.
Okay.
But I'll be there sometime in March. So I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And we're a church come as you are. I told you before the broadcast, I said I wear jeans to church sometimes and flats, tennis shoes, just whatever's comfortable. So you come as you are, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you gave your website.
Oh,
Can you give us your website real quick before we get
yes,
out
it's
here?
sunnyslaughter.com. That's it.
Mhm.
SUNNYSLAUGHTER.com.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
And then when you go on there, you can see all of I have a media page. I have a YouTube page. Oh, that's what you all
Right.
can do.
That's right.
Follow my
Follow her on
YouTube page.
YouTube. Yep.
If you follow that YouTube page, I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things, including the Tyree Nichols case and
Yeah.
just a lot of different things. It's taken me a minute though to get to the Tyree Nichols. I created one post. I'm not there. Look, I just do not let people rush me to do
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
because it taxes my spirit a lot. So I just have to
Yeah.
take my time and I'll get around to, but there are a lot. Please follow those, the YouTube channel, the website, and then that will help, not for my following. Well, that'll help too, but really for the information. There are too many things that people don't know about. And I really am going to try to do more of that. And I will always link what I am doing nationally on that page. So I have done something on missing children for Crime Door. I don't know when it's coming out, but it will be on that page.
Okay, great. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yeah, I follow
All
you on
right.
there.
Now
Yeah.
we are I know pastors like
I know.
we got to get off because I'm not gonna get in trouble behind this.
I know, right? We got to get off. But thank you so much, Sonny. Oh, this was wonderful. Thank you for your information. We will connect soon. May God bless you and everything that you're doing. Just thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time, your story, and everything. So until next time, Facebook fam and YouTube and those watching on Twitter, make sure you share this information. We don't have these things just to be having them. We have them to inform you, to enlighten you, and to encourage you during this time. And so be blessed. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Love y'all. Till next time. Thank you. Take care, Sonny.
Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.